Hi everyone, this is Erin with Lizzie Knits, and let's talk joining single ply yarn. So super bulky single ply yarn, and by single ply I mean yarn that kind of looks like this. It's like when you spread it out, it looks like raw fiber. So it's one strand instead of like defined strands that are plied together. So this is a single ply yarn. But when you are working on a project with multiple skeins, how do we join them together? So what I do is I start actually with my ends, I split them in half. So you can start pulling. And this yarn here is Malabrigo Rasta for my example here, but there's many brands of single ply yarn. Super bulky. Okay, we're pulling the strands apart. Let's do it to the other one. Okay, there we go. And roughly the same length. It kind of looks a little messy and rough, but that's what we want. So these are about the same length, and I'm going to cut one side of these. So let's just trim that tail or end piece, and do it to the other side. Okay. So basically what we have here is two sections of half of the yarn, because when we put them together, it's going to be the same width as the rest of the yarn you're trying to work with. And now we felt them together. Okay, twist, 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 twist. Roll it in your hands. And tip this technique, because this is like I'm just felting by hand. This only works with 100% wool. This will not work on acrylic yarns. So we just roll all this together, and you can see the ends are starting to get hidden. That was my raw edge from this strand. And you really just want to kind of like rough it up, because the natural fibers are going to adhere to each other and become more secure the more you keep rolling this together. Okay, so you just keep repeating this process, and in the end, you have a new yarn that looks just about the same. It should be pretty close. Same width as the rest of the yarns you're working with. Mine turned out to be a little skinnier because when we rolled it, it kind of got a little flattened out. But now you have yarn where these are, this is doubled up here to mimic the other pieces. One other tip, and this is preference, you can get this, you can get these wet and run them under the faucet, dip it into a bowl of water before felting. That just assists the process a little bit, and then the yarn, you can still, then if your yarn is wet in this section, you can keep knitting with it because it'll dry. But here we go, and I'm ready to continue knitting, and just be a little gentle when you get to this section, because I would call this lightly felted. You can get very technical, and if you want like a felting needle to really make sure those fibers adhere together and they're strong. But honestly, this is my preference. I just give it a quick felt with my hands, and to me that is strong enough to continue knitting. When you get to this section where you joined, you can keep knitting. Just be delicate with it, because as you can see, it won't, if you do pull in it super tight, it does come back apart. But I think it is strong enough to just keep continuing your project, and pay extra attention when you're felting on the ends, because you just want those nice and hidden so they won't be poking out of your project. Okay, that is joining two balls of super bulky single ply yarn. All right, happy knitting.